On the News Channel 5 network, this is OpenLine.
And hello and welcome into OpenLine. I'm Chuck Long, glad to be with you for the next hour. Really excited about the show this evening because we're talking about health, we're talking about nutrition, and we're talking about health and nutrition for everyone, all ages. Now, as always on OpenLine, you know you can call in, you can tweet us anytime during this hour. So as you have thoughts, as you have comments, as you have questions, jot those down, get on the phone. 737-7587 is the number to call, and talk to us, ask us whatever you want. We've got a great expert with us tonight. Really excited about this. Dyan Damron, great to have you here.
Thank you.
Fitness and health expert, and you come to it too via the professional world. You were a civil engineer. Tell me how you got from being a civil engineer into the whole health and nutrition.
Right. Well, I went to school for two reasons: to play softball and for engineering, and got a civil engineering degree and worked for about 10 years in transportation in the corporate engineering world. But while I was in college, when softball ended, I lost about 50 pounds myself through
5-0.
5-0, yes. Just through complete lifestyle change.
Wow.
And so during those 10 years of me working as an engineer, I was helping other people kind of get to other healthful lifestyle changes.
And that was you that we were just seeing on the screen right there. That
Yes.
was your before and afters. That's amazing.
Yes.
Yeah. So go ahead.
And so in 2010, after doing some of this on the side, I'd done some Biggest Loser competitions in my engineering world, and just decided it was time. I was going to quit my desk job and pursue my passion. And so I've been working as a health and weight loss coach for about 4 years now.
Now, I'm really excited because you have an approach. I love this approach. As I was preparing for the show tonight, it's called the nerd approach. So, okay, first I'll kind of explain, that kind of gets everybody's, head turning. The nerd approach. Tell me what that is.
Right. Well, I am a big fan of acronyms and easy ways to remember things. Coming from, again, kind of my professional side, I had to memorize a lot of things and equations, so I like to have easy things to remember. So I developed what's called the nerd approach, and I do a lot of talking with kids and kids like that. Who wants to be a health nerd? And nerd is nutrition, exercise, rest, daily. And I kind of have developed that because, a lot of people think that, well, if I exercise, I'm doing the right thing, or I'll diet. And my motto is don't diet, live it. Like, it's a complete lifestyle change. So think about nutrition. Nutrition is fuel for our bodies. If you think about your car and you put the proper fuel in your car, if you were to pour Kool-Aid or soda in your car, it's not going to go very far. And our bodies are the same way. You've got to fuel that.
And I think that's a great way to remember it. I always, when people say, the morning tempting of donuts, I think, what health, nutritional value does a donut have?
Yes.
It tastes good for a second, and then you eat it, and I don't know, many people don't eat the donut, and they're like, oh, I wish I wouldn't have eaten that donut. But there's no nutritional value in a donut. If you want to splurge once in a while, I guess that's okay.
Right.
But, I love what you say about putting it into your car. You don't put bad fuel into the car's tank. You don't want to do that into your body.
That's right. If we fuel ourselves with improper things, we'll do the same thing as our car. We'll just sort of spurt and sputter and not get very far. So, and the proper nutrition not only helps our bodies, but it helps our minds too, and that's very important for not only classroom for kids, but for adults as we're working in the business world.
And we're going to explain more of what the whole nerd approach is, but I also want people to know too that your program is for everyone. It's for kids, it's for young adults, it's for 20-somethings, it's for seniors. Everybody you have a place for in your program.
Yes, and I work with families I've sat with toddlers, and then I've got one of my longest time clients, an engineer, and he's in his 70s. So, and it's never too early, never too late to start.
Which is always a good thing to remember. Now, as you have any question about whether it's health, whether it's nutrition, comments, things that you would like clarified, things that you may have heard of what's a good food to eat, what's a bad food to eat, what's changed, coffee, wine, even things like that, things that you drink, make sure you give us a call. 737-7587. Dyan Damron is Coach D Consulting, and we'll talk a little bit more about that as the show goes on as well. But you've lived it. You understand what it's like to be overweight,
Yes.
and then to go through that process of losing it.
Yes.
How did you lose your weight?
Well, I went through, I was overweight, especially through high school, and felt very self-conscious. I can remember, and this, I feel like that helps. I'm not some thin person who's never experienced cellulite, and thinking about, I remember my thighs. That was the biggest thing as a teenager. I can remember sitting next to a boy that I was dating at the time, and my legs were bigger than his.
Yeah.
So I know that feeling. I know the emotional part of trying to figure out how am I going to eat well, how am I going to get in exercise. So
And you're not that person too that says, "Oh, I can eat anything and still look like this."
Right,
I mean,
right.
you work out, you practice healthy nutrition and all of that.
I do. I love to cook. I love to work out. I love to run. I do it all. But that's something that I have worked very hard for, and it's just become something that is routine. Whatever you want to make routine will become routine. Now, that doesn't mean that I don't have chocolate and cheeseburgers every once in a while, but that's something, once in a while is not a problem. And I always say you should never say never.
Right.
Because as soon as you say, I'm not going to have chocolate or I'm quitting that, you're going to sit in a tub of it.
Yeah.
And that, so, like you said, a donut, if you want a donut, have one, just don't have one at every meal. And with the supersized soda and French fries.
You know what I do is because I love fried chicken, but I know fried chicken is not the best food to have. So I do fried chicken on the 3 summer holidays. I do it on Memorial Day, which is coming up. I'm very excited. I do it on July 4th, and I do it on Labor Day.
Yeah.
So those are my 3 cheat chicken days, and I love that. So
Yeah.
I go and I know exactly where I'm going to go and what I'm going to have. But I think a lot of people, that way you don't, totally get off the diet, but you splurge once in a while.
And it makes it that much more special when you finally do.
Yeah, exactly. So can you add the 3 summer holidays for chicken into your nerd approach? So that where people are like, oh, I can have that. All right, let's continue a little bit about the nerd approach. So we're talking about the N. Tell me about the E.
The E is exercise, and you need exercise every single day. 60 minutes of moderate activity, and really that's not that hard. You can take, and I always say, it doesn't have to be that 60 minutes doesn't have to be at one time. You can do 10 minutes in the morning, a 20-minute walk at lunch, and then a 20-minute walk, with your kids after dinner. And exercise is so important, again, because it gets our brains working as well. It's not just our bodies. And it can actually improve cognition. It can help kids. It can help with ADHD when you get that activity. So I think that's really important, not only for the kids, but also with that cognition. If you've got a big meeting, sometimes take a walk right before your big meeting or presentation, something like that.
All great advice. So tell me too about the R.
R is rest, and so many people don't think about this, but in order for our bodies to be prepared for this healthy lifestyle, we have to provide rest, and it's amazing how many kids do not get the proper rest. School-age kids need 10 to 11 hours of sleep, so bedtime is not a punishment. It is something that is going to help you. Teenagers need about 8 to 9, and adults need 7 to 8 hours of sleep every night, and so that leads to the D, the daily. That's not taking a break on weekends or maybe on the summers you sleep in. It's not something you can catch up on. You need that every single night.
Right, which is good, and that's just a good practice to get into, so that you just start, saying, okay, I need to go to bed about this time, and because I know I'm going to get up at this time.
And I think it helps. You use math skills with your kids. Okay, you need 10 to 11. I need 7 to 8. You can parents have to have bedtimes as well, so it's not a punishment for the kids. Everybody has their own bedtime.
Which is terrific. All right, so we've got the nerd approach. We're going to be talking about that for the next hour with Dyan Damron. She is a fitness and health expert. She has her own consulting business, Coach D Consulting. We'll be telling you all about that. The approach that you take, too. You visit a lot of people in their homes and kind of turn the home into the perfect healthy lifestyle area that people can all participate in.
Yeah, don't need a gym, anything fancy, no fancy equipment. I use whatever we've got available.
All right, we're going to find out more. We are going to take a break, but when we come back, we will find out more about what happens when Dyan comes into your home and turns that into just the perfect gym just for you. So we'll take a break. We'll be right back on OpenLine after this.
This is a Storm